Hello YouTube, it's Avi here, and I am going to do a play along with Minecraft The Aftermath. This is a mod pack that you can find on the AT launcher. I am not normally the type of person that would do a YouTube video, and the main reason I decided to do this was because, well, quite frankly, I couldn't find a decent YouTube video on this particular pack, so I decided I'd make one. We'll see how it goes. The stuff that is out there for this pack is okay, but there's a lot of little tips and tricks I think that were missed. Now, I've played this pack a few times with a few different playthroughs, and it's not an easy pack to play. It is a lot of fun, though, and I really enjoy it. It's a HQM-based pack, so it's got questing in it. And if you look in the upper left corner here, you'll see it's also got Envirominer installed. Now, what that means is, if you take a look in the upper left, the top left bar is my body temperature. The middle bar is how hydrated I am. And the bottom bar is how much oxygen I have, or how much air I have to breathe. You can adjust certain things, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. The mod pack that this is probably reminds me of the most is Crash Landing. Kind of this isolated environment. I don't think you could play this with more than one person, but possibly you might be able to figure out a way to do it. The room that you start out in here is a clone room. And if you play this mod in hardcore mode, then you could probably use these shell constructors. If you power them up, you could probably use the shell constructors to keep clones of yourself in. I'm not going to do the playthrough in hardcore mode because I've played it a few times in hardcore, and my experience has been I get my infrastructure all set up, and just as I get ready to start doing something, I'll lose a bunch of lives and it'll be over, which is fine for me, but if I'm trying to do a YouTube series on it, that really doesn't work too well. So let's go ahead and get started. We take a look here. Oh, one more thing about this particular room. The room that you start in is always filled with air, basically, or oxygen. I know they've got an air vent here. My recommendation to you is just don't ever even turn it on. Here, I'll turn it on really quick so you can see it. You'll see some puffs of air come out at some point. There we go. Puff of air come out. That's what it looks like closed. That's what it looks like opened. I would leave it closed. It doesn't need to be open in this room ever. There are a few other rooms around where if you happen to be out and about and you've run out of oxygen, you could turn it on. Like out here, if you look, this one's closed, and now see how my oxygen is dropping up in the upper left-hand corner. If I right-click on this, it'll open it, and I get oxygen intake. But in this room, I just don't ever have to worry about it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. There are quite a few things to modify the way Minecraft is played in here. All right. So, stranded and alone, you awake to find the crew of your mining station have disappeared. As you regain consciousness, you hear scratching and strange noises all around you. You must battle the hostile environment while scavenging what you can to survive. Will you live another day or succumb to the fate of your crew? If you've never done an HQM before, this particular one is set up so that you don't have to play in hardcore mode. So you have multiple lives. If you have hardcore mode on, though, if you die, the game is over. It deletes it off your hard drive. Start here. We can look at our quests. The quests, anything that's a darker color can be worked on. Anything that's a lighter color is for later on and has to be unlocked somewhere else in the questing book. So Awakening is our first set of quests. You see right now there's 2 quests available. One of them is unlocked. None of them are completed, and one quest is available for completion. So let's go ahead and take a look. Something has gone horribly wrong. I've awoken and no one around, and something seems wrong with the facility systems. I better start assessing the damage and trying to see what I can do to get things back online. So when we come here, these are the quests. This is the quest that we can start with. Progress sieve. It looks like something has gone wrong with the mining facility. I better start investigating and gathering resources. There are 2 types of heart pieces in this mod pack. The heart piece in the first slot below will increase the amount of health you have when you combine 4 of them and click and hold. The second slot heart pieces will grant you more lives when you combine them to make 1 full heart. The 2 different hearts in this game, the one on the left here it's a Zelda heart, and if you get 4 of them and combine them together in a crafting grid and then right click on it, you'll end up with an extra heart in your health bar. The one on the right is from HQM, and if you get 4 of them and put them together and right click on it, it will give you an extra life. Now, because I'm not playing hardcore mode, I don't really care about that heart. So when I have the choice to pick one or the other, I will be picking the Zelda heart. Now, I'm not sure if they just haven't updated the pack. It seems to me that the original purpose of this quest was going to be to start collecting resources using a sieve from Ex Nihilo, but they seem to have converted it to having to find a spacesuit first. Now, you could make a spacesuit, and if we go here into our crafting grid and look for spacesuit, you will see that to make one you need iron, and so we don't have iron yet. So I suspect what they wanted us to do was go and find it. A couple other things about this particular mod pack you might notice right away when I look at my inventory is that several of my inventory slots are locked. They have to be unlocked. One way to do that is to use experience levels, and you start out with 0 experience, obviously, and when I get 1 level, I can unlock one inventory slot. Thing is, every time you unlock a slot, it increases the number of levels you need by 2, at least what I've seen. So the first one would cost me 1 level, and then I'd need 3 more levels to unlock the second one. There are other ways to unlock the inventory slots. There are quests that give you an item that will also unlock them, but those are actually better saved for later on in the game. The other thing about the game is that it uses Pam's Harvest Craft, and it uses it in a way I've never seen before in any of the games that I've played. They've turned on food rotting, basically. So after a certain amount of time, even if you have the food will rot. So you don't build up this big surplus of food, which is interesting. The other thing is that you can eat food 28 times and get full value for it. But once you've eaten any food 28 times, and I mean, it could be an apple today, and it can be a jelly sandwich, 28 different items. Once you've eaten 28 different items, then anytime you eat an item, it will diminish the value that you can get from that item. I believe it's 8 times. So if you eat an item and then you eat 7 other items, that item will be back to full value. You'll see it when we get there in the pack. All right, so let's start exploring here a little bit. Watch my oxygen as I go out, because we're going to go to a room next door here that doesn't have the spacesuit in it, but it does have this bookshelf and this locked door. We're going to pick up the book here really quick, and the important part of this book is page 2. Due to increased theft, all locks now have security measures attached. If you try to break them open without the proper key, you will be sorry. And if you actually try and open the door without the key, you will take damage. So I'm not going to bother doing that. I do have the key, so I can right-click on the door and pick up a couple of items. The other thing you need to know about these keys is if you hold down the shift or the sneak key and right click on it, you'll get the lock. And then I just put the lock. That way you can open it without taking damage. Now you'll notice that I'm starting to suffocate a little bit. I'm running out of oxygen. So I'm going to come back to this room. And we managed to get a strong box, so I'll put that down. Drop some of these things in I don't need right now. I think I'll keep a sandwich, and I'll keep a couple of energy drinks. My camel pack, this is the way you keep hydrated. So right now my hydration's dropping pretty fast. It's because I haven't had a drink in a while. You can keep your camel pack, you can put up to 4 bottles of water in your camel pack to keep it 100% full. Each bottle of water is 25%. And if it's on your back while it's got water in it, and you can actually see I've got a straw there underneath my chin. If it's in your pack when it's got water in it, it'll keep you hydrated. Now, like I said, right now I don't have any water in it, so it doesn't do me much good. You'll notice the temperature bar up there. The thermometer on the right side of the temperature bar is blue, and it's low down in the bulb. And if you watch my core temperature is dropping. I'm down to 97.18 degrees Fahrenheit there. The easiest way to raise your temperature is just drop a torch in the room you're in, and you'll see if I'm close to the torch, the thermometer turns red and my temperature starts rising. And if I back away from the torch, slowly back away from it here, you'll see the thermometer starts to drop. There it goes. The thermometer will start to drop, and I don't heat up quite as quick. And if I get all the way back in the corner here away from the torch, it drops all the way back down, and I start getting cold again. So if you need to warm up, just drop a torch on the ground or go stand next to a torch, and you'll do just fine. All right. So we still haven't found that suit. Let's go take a walk outside again. And we'll go into storage room 2. Got another locked door, strong box, and there's our spacesuit. So let's go ahead and pick up our spacesuit, pick up a couple air tanks. There's a key for the lockbox and another book. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put on the spacesuit so that I start breathing out here. And you'll see now my oxygen level should start going back up, and we start using oxygen out of one of the air tanks. Okay, and let's open up this door. Pop that lock. And hey, look, some water. Now, here's a problem, and I didn't figure this out the first couple times I went through. I've already got armor on my back, so I can't put my camel pack in there. Here's how you load the camel pack with water, by the way. You just drop it in the crafting grid, and now it's 50% full of water. You get the empty bottles back. But the problem is you can't wear them both at the same time. Well, as it turns out, if you put the chest piece in there and the camel pack in there, they will combine, and now I've got water and my spacesuit at the same time. So that's handy. What else did we have in here? Oh, yes, the sieve, or sieve. I don't know. I always say sieve. Some stained clay, and another book. And let's just leave these pieces in here. And let's head back to my main room over here. And this will help me conserve oxygen a little bit. While I'm in this room, I don't use oxygen out of the tank, so that's all good. I am going to drop, I think I'm going to drop the sieve right here in the corner. We'll drop the questing system over there. For right now, I'm going to put the black clay in there and the empty bottles in there and the leadstone capacitor in there. All right, let's take a look at these books really quick. This one just tells you how to use the spacesuit and how to fill it. You have to find an oxygen tank somewhere or a fluid transposer to make oxygen. And this one is talking about the reactor aging and needing Tier 5 access to get into the reactor. Let's take a look in our quest book again. Oh, we're going to have to take off the spacesuit to get credit for it. Now, one of the things that they changed, it used to be that if you combined the chest plate with the with the Camel Pack, the quest didn't recognize it anymore, and so they just took the chest plate out of the requirements. Now you just need those 3 pieces. And we're going to go ahead and claim our heart piece this time. We get dirt and a quest ticket. Yay, everybody's happy. Go ahead and put that stuff back on. And I'm going to put the heart in here because you need 4 of them. And for right now, I think I'm going to put the piece of dirt in there too. All right. So now we've got this other quest, which I've already completed, all locked up. Many storage lockers have locks on them to protect their contents. Each lock will require its own key. That's a warning, don't use the wrong key on the wrong lock or you'll take damage. I've even had it start me on fire. Make sure to use the key directly on the lock itself. If you use the incorrect key or don't click on the lock, you will receive damage. You may also shift-click on a lock, to completely remove it. Remove locks are useless and don't need to be saved. Now, yeah, I just throw them in there. There's room for them. But we get 2 more water bottles and another heart piece. And right away, I'm going to take that water, because water bottles don't stack, but empty ones do. Do that, and good to go. All right, then we have an option here, I'm new or replay. So under I'm new, if you have never played this mod pack before and need an introduction to Oxygen System, follow this quest line. Or we can go under replay. Take this quest line if you are familiar with the Oxygen System in the pack. It will skip a number of tutorial quests that are not vital. Because you guys are watching this and probably watching it because you want some idea of what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and go through this quest line. I have the quest ticket, so it will let me move on. And notice I have access card tier 1 here. So this gives me access to tier 1 doors. I'm going to go ahead and manually submit that and claim our access card. And now when we step out of the room, you'll see that we have these doors at the end of the room that have a yellow doorknob on them. That yellow doorknob is an electronic lock, and I have the key card that will let me in. So we're going to go into life support here. And hey, look at that, we got a wrench. To get in the wrench, just shift right click on the box and you can pull a wrench right out of there. I haven't used the wrench a whole lot other than as a weapon early on. It has sharpness 3 on it, and so it's a pretty good weapon to keep in your hot slot so you're ready to go and attack if you get attacked. You'll notice that in this room, if I close this door, or don't even really have to, but this room has an oxygen or an air vent in it as well. It also has this really big oxygen tank. It's to keep liquid oxygen in the system. And you'll see right now that there's none of the oxygen can actually flow into the system. We have to turn it on. And now oxygen flows to fill up the pipes, and we can keep the system running. Yeah, so let's see what we've got here. We've done that. So the next, I need air. All right, it seems like the oxygen systems are a bit damaged, so I won't be able to run the air vents for long without running out of air. Looks like I'll have to keep my spacesuit on for now. I should figure out how to refill my air tanks with the fluid transposer first. Find the empty air tank in the fluid transposer located in life support. Now, normally a lot of times when I play these, I don't read the quest information, but I found that in this particular mod pack, there's a lot of really good information in there. A lot of hints and tips that if you don't read through them, you'll miss out on. So here's our fluid transposer. There's our empty air tank. Do not fill the air tank before you put it in your inventory, or you won't be able to claim the quest. And the quest is going to give me 10 spruce leaves and an empty tank. So I'm going to go ahead and claim that reward. Okay, and then if we read the next one, fresh air. Okay, making air is simple. To make liquid oxygen, place leaves or other plants into the air emitter. This will pipe the liquid into the large holding tank. You can then fill the liquid transposer with a tank of oxygen to fill the internal tank, or pipe it into the fluid transposer. So what we have to end up with here is an oxygen tank full. And so we're going to put this oxygen tank right here on the fluid transposer. Up. And let's try that again. All right. It has to be toggled to empty mode, I guess. There we go. And it's going to fill it up. I'm going to turn off the air coming in. Looks like it comes in from underneath. So I'm going to turn that off for a minute, because I don't want to drain this tank over here. Alright, so we've got our full oxygen. Now we've got these spruce leaves here, and you can see we've drained some of the oxygen out of the tank. So what we can do is we can put the spruce leaves in this air intake, turn on the power, and you'll see it starts converting the spruce leaves into liquid oxygen. And you saw the level in there increase as it did that. There it goes. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch this back to empty, and I'm going to dump this oxygen back into the tank because, oh, I just realized something. Have I turned that quest in yet? Yeah, okay, I have. I'm going to dump this back into the tank because I've never needed this tank full of oxygen. So I'm just going to empty it back out into the fluid transposer. And done. So now I've got an empty tank, which, you know, for right now, hey, why not? I'm just going to bring it over here, and I'm going to stick it inside that cabinet. There we go. I may need it later, but right now I don't need it. Okay, good. So let's see what we've got quest-wise. We get to claim hardened fluid duct and servo. And we look here. We've filled up an oxygen tank. I think it just registered the fact that I had a full oxygen tank in my inventory. One of the things about the oxygen tanks, you will not be able to, like I've got this partially filled tank. If I try and move the partially filled tank up there, it won't fill it. The tank has to be completely empty. And if you look at the numbers there next to air tank, the 6176:751, that right number, if it's at 1,000, means that the tank is empty. So right now I'm not really using any oxygen or air very much, so it's not emptying that tank. But as I move around a little, let's see if I've used some of it. Yeah, you can see it's used some of the air now as I moved around. And so when I come back, it will most likely, or what I meant to say is you won't be able to put a partially filled tank. Let's show you here. Let's take this tank out. A partially filled tank won't go into the fluid transposer. So, and now I've ended up with 3 tanks and kind of wanted to avoid that, but that's all right. Come back over here. We'll store it here for now. Yeah, we'll put my full tank here for now. There we go. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and open up the next door. Oh, wait. Let's check do a couple things. Let's get rid of the excess stuff in my inventory that I don't need. And check our quest book. The next quest here, we're going to need to get birch leaves for. So I'm going to have to find, not only am I going to have to find a birch tree, but I'm going to have to find some iron so I can make shears to cut the leaves off. So probably not going to go there for a while. Let's take a look what cargo hold says. I should look in the storage room, see what's left behind. Make sure to have inventory space to claim the bottles as they do not stack. So this one, there's 4 water bottles, and if you don't have the inventory space for 4 water bottles, you won't be able to complete the quest, because you have to have the space for the items in the quest. And see, right now I only have 3 slots, so I wouldn't be able to complete the quest right now. So let's go ahead and put this up here, and now I can claim the reward. Get my 4 bottles. See that I'm at about 55, so that will let me put 1 more bottle in there. Put my empty bottle in here. And let's put our 3 full bottles there for now. And put these guys back where they were. And I think, yeah. So now it wants me to go to the mining supply locker. There might be some more supplies in the upper areas of the facility. Hopefully I can find the key card to open the door. Well, obviously I've already found the key card. And we just need to go to the next level. So we've got the yellow key card. And we come in here to the jury tube. Climb on up to the next level. Already I can hear some zombies wandering around. I don't think... Generally I don't see zombies out here. Even though there's red spots on the floor when you press F7, I've yet to see any mobs spawn in here. That's probably the most I've ever seen spawn in that room, though. That's a lot. Makes me think it might... Ooh, first time I've seen a witch, too. Might be nighttime outside. Let's just take a look around what we've got. This is kind of a loading bay area. There's this entryway to the mess hall. Be careful. I do see mobs in here quite a bit, so I'm just going to drop a torch down there. I'm going to walk around. This is a garage door from Carpenter's Block, so if you step on the little panel here, you can go outside, take a look around. Oh, middle of the day. See that there's some more rooms over there. Okay, and if you get stuck out here, you just right-click it and it'll open back up. Got some oil tanks back here. And if we come... This is a crate. Oop, it has our key for our next storage area. Reinforced steel locker. Same deal. Right-click it to get it to go away. And I'm going to go ahead and put the yellow key card in there and grab the orange key card. We've got 4 more torches and this thing called a clay smasher, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, now you can see that this tank is empty. We'll just go with it for now. We have another air vent here. In case of emergency, I can always use the oxygen out of that. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. So I've completed it. Gone to the location, got the clay smasher. So we'll claim our bone meal and take a look. You're a crook. I should check in the nursery on the top floor of the facility to see what might have survived. Hopefully, there's some plant life to use this crook on to begin growing more. That's interesting. There's no crook. We're going to have to make our own crook. But that's fine. No biggie. Let's just go ahead and right-click on this door. Again, I've never seen mobs in here, but I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple of torches down just to be safe. It'll warm me up, which is nice. Where I have seen mobs and where you want to be careful is going up to the nursery. The nursery is this nice big open room with a glass ceiling in it. Now, I was really excited when the first time I played this particular pack when I saw this room. I'm like, man, I can build my gardens in here. I can get nice trees growing in here, and everything's going to be great. Problem is that in this mod pack, instead of rain, you get meteor showers. So when it rains, meteors start falling on the facility, and it starts breaking the glass. And as you're going to see, mobs spawn at night outside the glass dome, and they would spawn inside as well. They spawn outside the glass dome, even if you light up the inside, and if the meteor shower hits, then all of a sudden you've got... This whole room gets destroyed pretty quickly once the meteor showers start. So while I'm going to set up shop here to begin with, just to get going, it's probably a good idea to not set up shop permanently in this room. So I think the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and set ourselves up with a crafting table like so. And we're going to go ahead and build a crook. Yeah, that's fine. We'll build a crook like so. And let's see what we've got here in the book. The book says, oh yeah, there. Okay, so we've got all this stuff. I can't claim it though because I need 4 open slots, or 5 open slots, and I only have 1. So I need to get through some stuff first. Now, I know coming up, it's not quite in the book yet, but Vein Miner is installed as a mod in this mod pack. And so what you can do is you can hold the vein mining key down, which by default is the tilde, or grave, which is in the upper left-hand corner next to the one on US keyboards. If you hold that down, when you click when you do mining things, it will actually do it in big chunks, and so you don't have to hit each individual one. Now, you may have noticed when I did that sapling kind of floated through the air, and if you watch the wood here when I hit it, it kind of bounces up in the air and floats. That's because on this mining station, there's no gravity. That's a good thing and a bad thing. One of the good things about it is that you can fall from high places and not take damage. But one of the bad things about that is it's really hard to collect all your materials sometimes. So you kind of keep an eye on that. We're going to go ahead and build a chest here really quick. Put that down. Put some of this stuff in there. I don't need that. That can stay here. That can stay here. That can stay here. Pick this up. And we can drop the wood in there as well. All right, I think that's about time for this particular episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I am not a YouTuber. I have no clue what I'm doing here. I'm taking my best guess. So I would love your feedback. I would love any comments you might have for me. Please feel free to leave them. And if you want to, if you have ideas, or if I miss something, something I don't know, by all means, let me know and I'll try and incorporate it. Until next time, this is Avi, and I'll see you later.